uplifting the community. Let's talk about it. Real truth and power. Health. Wealth. Knowledge of self. Uplifting the community. Let's talk about it. Real truth and power. Health. Wealth. Knowledge of self. Uplifting the community. Let's talk about it. Real truth and power. Health. Wealth. Knowledge of self. Uplifting the community. Let's talk about it.
All right, Hotep, everybody. I got another strong, powerful show. So let's hit the intro, and then I'll introduce my guest.
You're now tuned in to Real Truth and Power, the show that uplifts the community with health, wealth, and knowledge of self. Here's your host, Everett Winchester.
All right, man, I got a powerful brother. We're going overseas today from the United Kingdom, live from the UK. My brother Yinka Bakare. He is a counselor. He has his footprint counseling service. And so we want to always talk about a real truth and power, health, wealth, and knowledge of self. But health is mental health as well. So I wanted to bring my brother in to give some information to the people. So let me bring him in and let him introduce himself. Here we go. All right, fam. I'm blessed to have another powerful guest on the Real Truth and Power Live podcast. Please, Brother Yinka, introduce yourself to the people. Give them a brief description of your background.
Okay, I'm a qualified counsellor living in United Kingdom. I've been a counsellor for like 10 years. I deal with all kinds of maladies like anxiety, depression, relationship issues. And I also do a motivational talk and inspirational talk on YouTube at the moment, and also on Facebook, where I help people, discover what might be going wrong and how to improve their lifestyle. In short.
Awesome. Now I want you to go into it a little bit about your business, Footprint Counseling Service. What's that all about?
That was an idea that I had as soon as I qualified as a counsellor, which was about 2010. Or even 2008, 2009. But of course, we had the recession.
Right.
So nobody wanted to pay for counselling. So I had to put it on the shelf for a few years. But, footprints is like what we've got in the Bible. God is walking beside you, keeping you company when you're going through stuff. And there's like one set of footprints, but obviously you're being carried by God. So my idea was to create a counselling organisation for myself and people that want to work with me. And also, similar to what I'm doing on my YouTube channel, I've created packs for people to be able to download to work on their iPad or on their phone or on a laptop, so they can self-help themselves rather than having to see me or a counsellor. So that's what that's about. And of course, I do one-to-one and also Skype counselling.
Wow. Now I want to talk about health and well-being, because you hit me with some heavy stuff, and I'm gonna go back into your YouTube channel a little later. But why is having a positive and I guess just a good health and well-being so important to Black people in particular, or just people in general?
Well, for people in general, it's important because we live in a very negative world. Very, very negative world. If you don't give yourself a positive self-talk, probably 2 or 3, well, not even 2 or 3, as much as you can throughout the day, your mind automatically goes to negative stuff. It's just sort of like it's a default behavior. We always think about negative stuff. Now, for Black people, oh my gosh, we get so much. You know, we got so much extra burdens to carry. Do you understand? Well, you know, obviously you understand what I'm saying, and that obviously is going to affect your mental health. Simple as that. So you've even got to be more positive because you live, especially if you're living in Africa, if you're living in the Caribbean, you've got a better chance. Yeah. But if you're living in what we call the Western society, as a Black man, as a Black woman, your pressures are far greater. Hence, there's so much people that have bad mental health as Black people.
Now you said something there about positive thinking a little bit. Talk about how thinking positive can just create a better well-being. And you know, a lot of people don't think about thinking positive. They think I go through my life, I handle my challenges. Here's the big challenge. It's going to be tough. I just got to deal with it. And you know, the pressure and stuff, they don't really think about just a couple of positive thoughts to reinforce themselves. Talk about how important positive thinking is and how it can help.
Yeah, in one of the videos that you've kind of like found interesting, you know, sort of drew you interesting to me, was about positive mental thinking. And one of the examples I used there was the placebo effect. And we know, well, people that don't know what placebo effect is when people are doing drug trials, they give people a sugar-coated pill for like a headache.
Oh, wow.
And then they give somebody the real Panadol or paracetamol for a headache. But both people will feel that they're taking this pill and the headache's gone. So it's a perception, isn't it? You tricked your mind. You've taken a tablet that's a sugar-coated pill. You can't do nothing other than give you sugar. And yet somebody will think that the headache's gone because they took that pill. So if you've got a positive mindset, you can trick your mind into thinking that you're thinking positively, you can achieve your goals. It changes the way you look at things. It changes the way you see the world. It changes the way you see yourself. It's not even rocket science.
Right.
It's just something that people don't think about. If they don't think about it, they're not going to, implement it. Just that simple.
Right. Now, positive thinking can help you overcome anxiety. I wanted you to get into anxiety a little bit. I know you help people overcome anxiety, and talk about maybe some signs of it, because some people don't even know they're having, they're under so much stress and anxiety.
Anxiety, I mean, usually it goes back. I mean, I did a piece on that. It was, how could I put it? There's a TV show here with something about cooking. Mm-hmm. And there's a lady in it called Nasir Hussain. And I was watching it, and this was about her anxiety. Where did it come? How is she suffering from anxiety? And she was seeing a psychologist, and he said to her, when did you first notice your anxiety? And she said, from childhood, she thinks she's always sort of had it. And he said, so what happened in your childhood? And what happened in her childhood at school? She was bullied. She's an Indian woman. Kids used to pull her hair out, bang her nails in the door, so her nails actually fell out, and hold her head down the toilet.
What?
And this is it. She did not connect that to the reason why she's got anxiety for the rest of her life. Yeah. So a lot of people's anxiety comes from something traumatic happened in their past. And if you can link the two, then you've got an opportunity to start digging your way out of it. And one of the key things, any psychologist will tell you about anxiety is called exposure. So like if you're scared of going on a bus, for example, you find that claustrophobic feeling, then the first thing you do, you just get onto the bus and get off again. Next time you get on the bus, you go one stop, and then so on and so forth. So basically what you do, you expose yourself to the fear and let it overwhelm you, and then see what's the worst thing that's going to happen out of that situation. And to be honest, what is going to happen? Nothing. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, your heart will beat fast. You might be sweating, you might not be able to talk, you might feel dizzy and so on. But if you keep exposing yourself to that situation, it brings that anxiety to you, or gives you panic attacks, you'll overcome it that way.
Wow. If you're just tuning in, we got my powerful brother Yinka from the UK. Please hit that like and that share We want to get you over to his YouTube channel. I'm going to talk to him about that in a minute. So on the count of 3, hit that like, share, and subscribe. 1, 2, 3. Wonderful. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, and I wrote some notes here. You conquered a lot, but this is very important to me, helping people with mind management. Talk to me a little bit about what mind management is and, why is it so important?
Okay, so mind management, I would say putting things in drawers, putting components, putting the way you think, how can I put it? I'm trying to find the right word. Putting it in the right boxes, for whatever better word, So just don't let everything be cloudy in your mind. So if you've got an issue with I don't know, say your partner, then take time to talk about your partner, your wife, for example. If you've got an issue to deal with at work, then deal with the issue at work. Don't put them all together. Don't let one. If you're angry with your wife, don't go to work and start shouting with your colleagues. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Right.
Because they've got nothing to do with what happened at home. So you keep things separate. That's what our basic explanation of mind management.
Yeah, I think that's very difficult. Sometimes we don't even know we're carrying one thing over to the other. Once we group everything in, it's like I had an issue with my wife this morning. I got I'm gonna have a bad day. Well, that was this morning. You're going to work. Let that go and move forward and try to think that was very powerful. Talk about Interesting Talk. That's your YouTube channel. I know you're putting a lot of positive information out there. And go back, because I think you said they can get some kind of information to help them as well on some of your posts.
Yeah, I mean, I've done 100 videos now. I just looked at it the other day. So there's so many different subjects. Even me, I can't remember what I've talked about sometimes. But I can't. It's 100 subjects. But what it's there for is to just make people aware of what to do or what's going on. Yeah. So like you've got an itch and you don't know where the itch is. So I'll help you to find that itch and know where to scratch it, and then it's gone. Yeah. That's one of the things what I like to do. Other people are so stuck in their way of behaving. They think one of my favorite words is, so many people think they're walking in a straight line. Yeah. That they're doing all their best they can to get towards their goals. But if they look at it, or if I analyze them, I say they're walking like a crab. They're walking sideways. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
They're walking around everywhere. They're not getting anywhere. So my objective is to wake people up. I mean, not many people know anything about counseling or psychology. And I'll even refer back to myself. When I first started to discover this stuff, it was like, how can I put it? We all listen to what our parents tell us. We listen to what our friends tell us. We hear what the TV says. We might hear Farah Khan say something. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's never your idea. Yeah. Now, what I want people to do is have their own idea, their own evaluation. One of my talks is The Lie We Live, which is on there. And it talks about we've been on this planet for 300,000 years. Mm-hmm. As Africans or Kemites, whatever you want to say. And we left Africa, we went around the world. Hence, that's us. But a lot of us follow the Bible, Quran. These books are like 5,000 years old.
Right.
5,000 years got to do with 295,000 years preceding that.
Right.
Hello? To me, that's like a bit of an insult. Don't get me wrong. I grew up as a Christian. I've got a Muslim name. I come from a Muslim background. But when I think about it, we've been around far too long. Do you understand what I'm saying, my friend?
We followed down, yes.
I mean, we've been here for 300,000 years. And all of the books, what we read, the deepest history we can get going is about 10,000 years of age, And I used the example of a Chinese whisper. Chinese whisper, somebody says something, and by the time it gets to the 8th person, it's no longer got any relevance to what the second person heard from the original speaker. And that's the kind of life that we live in. So I'm just trying to wake people up, get them out of their slumber, realize what the possibilities are, and make use of it.
Now, counseling is a powerful service that you're providing. People are kind of intimidated about going, or maybe they don't feel like they're needed. Maybe they feel like they need it, but they're too ashamed to go. Talk about the importance of reaching out and the importance of, getting counseling for all of those issues that people could have.
Well, how could I put it? the fastest way to this is looking in a business sense. The fastest way to accelerate yourself is to say you want to stop what is going to stock market and shares, stuff like that. If you went and got mentored by Warren Buffett and you followed everything that Warren Buffett told you to do,
right,
you'll be a billionaire, right? I mean, there's no way you wouldn't. If he tells you to do this, do that, get up at 6 a.m., do some press ups, and then we go to the stock market and you buy these shares and you sell those ones, boom, right? So a psychologist, you tell me your problem, and I'll help you to work through it. I'll see things that you don't see, and we've only got one life. It's not a dress rehearsal, so why not pay somebody to help you to become the best person you can be? Because you've only got one life. Every day wasted is a day you'll never ever get back again.
Now, here's an issue. I was just joking with my wife and my daughter the other day. They was like, you need counseling. I always trip off of instances that happened in my childhood. You know, this happened and, you know, they're like, you need counseling, joking. But talk about the effects of childhood anxiety, how it can mess us up as adults, how we may not even want to go back to the past to deal with it. Talk about how that childhood anxiety and, you know, childhood stress and issues from our childhood can come back and, you know, kind of make us miserable individuals and stuff like that.
Very, very serious point there. Obviously, we're all children, and I've even done a talk on how our parents mess us up, because they do. Unfortunately, they don't know any better. It's not that they do it on purpose,
right?
But they do. Yes, going back to revisit your childhood, if you know, because there's going to be things, there could be issues there. It's seriously important. It could be scary, don't get me wrong, but it's worth doing it, because again, you'll become a better person. You'll understand stuff. I can't say that every counsellor is good at what they do, but majority of them, I've got a lot of faith in majority of them, that they know what they do. And it's good to, if you're a black man, see a black woman or a black male. Do you understand what I'm saying? Right. Somebody who understands where you're coming from, yeah? And if you're a white person, you know, I see black people, but if you're a woman and you're talking about women's issues, the woman will understand you. To answer your point specifically, it's really important to go back. If you've got things from your childhood that you didn't deal with, you will not be able to be a fully functioning adult. That's period. Yeah. We're supposed to go through developmental stages. You know, how could I put it? There would be no point not going to school from the age of 5 till like 9, and then just starting school at 11.
Gotcha.
You would have missed everything. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? You'll struggle. Yeah. And that's what we go through as our developmental stage as children into adults. And a lot of people miss out stuff. You know, I've been with people, I've talked to people, and they say, especially in our community, our mum never hugged us, our dad never hugged us. The key things with them was putting food on the table, clean clothes. And if you're not shown love, how can you reciprocate it? Do you understand what I'm saying? It takes a big step. It takes a big step to be able to do that. And unfortunately, in our community, that's kind of how, especially my generation, that is kind of how we grew up. With me, I hug my kids. You know, I've taught them how to, you know, what happens in a restaurant, all sorts of things what a man should do. I've got 2 daughters. All sorts of things that a man should do for you to even give them attention. I started that when they was little. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Right. And so now when they get bigger, they realize how important it is. But yes, if you've got issues from your childhood, try to address them. Who doesn't want to be the best person they can be? Who doesn't want to be happy? Who doesn't want to have inspirational conversations with people? Who doesn't want to be able to talk to anybody and have confidence? And that comes from within, and it comes with what you know about yourself and how you can reflect back to the society that you live in.
Yeah, that was definitely powerful right there. I like how you broke it down from jumping into school at 12 as opposed to missing the early ages. It's, you know, you can't do that. You gotta start from the beginning to build yourself back up. I think a lot of times people, you know, we hold a lot of things in, especially in the Black community. We try to deal with things that, you know, we all deal with. And sometimes because of being oppressed and the stress of Black people, we don't understand we're going through it. We live through it. I think that is just added pressure. Sometimes you do need to just talk to someone, even if it's a friend.
Can I just jump in there a bit?
Yes, go ahead.
Another talk I did was psychosomatic illnesses. Yeah.
Oh, say that again. Okay, go and say it again.
Psychosomatic illnesses. Yeah.
Okay.
What is that? That is conflict between your brain and your body. Yeah. So let's say you're doing something that's really bad for you. Like you're doing, I don't know, 70 hours a week. But you're saying to yourself, I've got to do it, I've got to do it, I've got to pay my bill. You know what's going to happen? Your brain is going to attack your heart, it's going to attack your lungs, it's going to give you an ulcer, it's going to do something from you to stop you from doing 70 hours a week for 2 or 3 years. Yeah. I didn't know about it. When I started studying at college, I had a tutor, and she said to me that she was in an abusive relationship physically and mentally. And she had breast cancer. That's what it caused her. And she had to have her breast, removed. I forget the technical term for it. But that's what happened. And most of us, well, not most of us, everybody in the classroom, their mouth was open, because we didn't understand that stressful living causes disease, fatal diseases at that. So the community we live in, Black community, would live under so much pressure. Hence, most Black people's got high blood pressure. People's got, I don't know, cataracts coming on.
Diabetes.
People losing hair, alopecia. The list is endless. But you know what you got to do? You've got to look at your lifestyle, break it down, look where you can improve it, look where you can get more relaxation. Try meditation, try yoga. Whatever it takes to live the best life you can. That's what you got to do, because you owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself. Not doing it for your missus, not doing it for your friend, not doing it for God. You're doing it for you. And that's what people have got. You got to be very selfish at times to give the best back. I always say to people, you can't give somebody a jump start with a flat battery. You cannot give somebody a jump start with a flat battery.
Yeah, I may need you to elaborate in that a little bit, because I was going to go there. You said you have to be selfish at times and focus on yourself. A lot of people think they're doing that, but they're not doing it. They think, well, they're living. You know what I mean? They're actually living and just doing what you have to do to survive and live. But sometimes you got to, mentally and physically say it's about me. Mentally build yourself up, do things for yourself. Just elaborate a little bit more how important it is to be a little selfish.
Yeah, because if you don't take care of you, how can you take care of anybody else?
Right.
And I suppose a good way to evaluate what you're doing. I mean, I tend to try at night time is when I think about what did I do today? How well did I do? Was I a bit harsh on this person? Was I too generous with that person? Was I too soft on myself? Did I put myself, And I think what anybody can do, keep a journal. Keep a journal of what you think, just for you, to look back and what did you do last week? What did you do this week? But you got to take care of you. You can't take care of everybody without taking care of you. It's just, I wouldn't say it's common sense, but once you hear it, then you start to think, okay, how can I take care of me a little bit more? What can I do for me to help me so I can help other people? It's not that you don't want to help other people, but if you're helping, I used to have a friend and he never said no to people, yeah? They'd ask him all kinds of favors, yeah? And he actually had a breakdown eventually. And plus he let people down a lot because he kept saying yes. Can you drop me here? Can you do a bit of painting there? Can you fix this? Can you do? And he say, yeah. But how can you do all of that? You can't. You're only one person. And it led him to let people down. He had started to get a bad reputation. And 2, he had a breakdown.
It's funny that you said that, and hopefully you can elaborate a little bit. When you saying keep a journal, I know back in the day, especially a lot of the girls, and they used to have diaries. And I remember coming home, right before I go to bed, I just think, here we go, I got to deal with tomorrow. But I would think about everything that happened during the day so I could be prepared for another issue. Maybe I felt I was about to get into a fight. And so I'm actually thinking to myself how to avoid a fight, how to deal with the fight. Maybe I got to get ready to fight. Talk about that, writing a journal or just dealing with your inner thoughts and your issues, like you say, towards the end of the day or something, and how it just helps you go forward.
Helps you to clarify where you are, where you've come from, and where you're going. It's as simple as that. And it's a conversation that it's sometimes difficult to remember what you said in your head, but when you write it down, it becomes real. And I can also say a journal is another good way. Like if you've got issues with people, yeah, you could slag them off on the journal, and you don't have to actually say it to them, and you've got it out of your system. Journals are good for so much.
Wow, I never even thought of that. That's something I'm gonna give advice to, man. Keep a journal, write your thoughts down. It seems like it's also like it's very therapeutic, just to get it out. If you don't want
Yeah.
to talk, man, this you writing it and you probably talking, wait, man, so I can I can understand, how therapeutic that can be. Now I know you deal with I think I saw on your website that you help with bus drivers. I know that could be
Yeah.
a stressful job. Talk a bit
Mm.
maybe about them, and not particular, but just talk about the workplace, how important it is to get that stress out the way. I know I'm an entrepreneur now, and
Mhm.
entrepreneurs have a lot of stress. But
Mhm.
I always felt more stress in a work environment around other people who have had bad days,
Mhm.
talking any kind of way, stress. They're stressed now, and it's making me I don't even want to come in here today because of the
Yeah, yeah,
attitude and the atmosphere of work. Just talk about the work environment, how stressful it can be, and how we have to deal with that and overcome it.
yeah. Funny enough, there's a link to this, what I said to you before, like if you've got an argument with your missus and you go to carry it to work. Bus driving, I did it. I did it for 3 years. And
Wow.
this is something, this is something I know about. Yeah? And well, it's a very dangerous job, as in you could kill people because you're driving a bus, and you've got problems from passengers, other road users, management, and controllers that tell you where to go and where not to do. And I found that, which I didn't know at the time. Obviously, all right, I was a counsellor also there. Um, if you carry problem A, and problem B, and problem C, and problem D, by the time you get to E or F, you're raging. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if an incident happened, like I don't know, let's say stop one or any particular, I'll use the bus as an example. So stop one, you get there, and somebody says to you something like, "Oh, driver, you're late, blah blah blah, you're making me go back to whatever to work." Just say to them whatever, as such as in there was an incident on the road, that's why I'm late. Finish. Don't keep it in. So when you get to the next stop, somebody says to you, "Oh, you know, I left my phone on the bus yesterday. Where is it? Where's my phone? Where's my phone?" And you say to them, "Look, go to the lost property people. Here's the number." Blah blah. So you need to just every time something comes up, to the best of your ability, deal with it. Then don't
Right.
carry baggage to the next situation, because all of us, at one stage, you will explode. And even if you don't explode, you're going to be internalizing it. And if you're internalizing it, we're going back to psychosomatic illnesses. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So, you know, yeah.
Right. This was powerful. Before I let you go, because you've been dropping so many gems on the community, just leave something powerful like you were doing your YouTube video, just a message of upliftment for the people, anything you're thinking of that, we're going through, especially over here in America, some crazy times. I
All right,
said,
tell me.
yeah, so just drop a little knowledge for them, a little quick message you think that could uplift everybody.
If you've got a problem, talk to a friend who you can trust. Not somebody who's going to talk about you behind the back, but that person you can trust. Get it out there. Don't keep it in. And what I've been what I could see happening, sort of, in my opinion, we're going to have a big recession worldwide. And when I look back into the 1920s, 1920s, 1929, the people that survived, they asked them, "How did you guys survive?" Because there was a lot of suicide, a lot of negative behavior going on. And they said that we shared our problems. You've got a loaf of bread, you share it with your neighbor. If you've got a problem, you just sit down and talk about it. It's not that you're going to solve that problem, but just the fact that you're talking to somebody about it and they're telling you about theirs and you're exchanging, that helps people to survive.
Now, before I let you go, I had to ask you real quick. I know that coronavirus. How's it affecting you guys over there in the UK? I mean, it's crazy over here. We're trying to open up, but they're saying we might be moving too fast. But
Mhm.
it's all about economics over here. How's it affecting you guys over there? Are you making it through? Are you doing better? Or
It's a mixed bag. It's everybody's, things have changed. Obviously, we'll never be the same again. Yesterday was the first time I actually went out to rave last night,
Wow.
and it was really, really strange because people were sitting down. There was no dancing going on. The music was in the background. There was no DJ, but I felt good because I just needed to get out.
Yeah, yeah.
What can I say? It's really strange. We've tried to open back up. There's parts of the country that get locked down again because the coronavirus is spreading quicker. But there's one key thing I would say to everybody, which I think is true. I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a medical man, but it seems like the coronavirus is going to be here for decades. So when you get, yeah, no, but it's going to be like the flu. It's going, there's no way. There's 8 billion people on the planet. We're not going to be able to inoculate all of them, even if you get a cure.
Right.
Polio we just got rid of polio just the other day. We've not got rid of flu. We've not got rid of common cold. It makes sense. So therefore, look at it in a long-term projection, as in it's going to be here all the time. So how are we going to live? Especially our community. Forget about others. Our community. How are we going to live? So just try to work out a way to live with it, because it's not going anywhere.
Right. If somebody, Brother Yinka, before I let you go, somebody wanted to just contact you, talk to you about, just getting counseling, or whatever, just drop your website, any emails, anything that they can get at you with.
Yeah, footprintscounseling.com. Straight away, you get straight to my website. You can contact me through there. On YouTube, it's Interesting Talks, #Interesting Talks. You get to me on see my talks on YouTube, and once you got into YouTube, you can see me. Facebook, Footprints Counseling Services, again, it's on Facebook. Yinka Bakare is on Facebook. That's the easy way to get hold of me. I'm also on Twitter. Footprints Counseling Service on Twitter.
Footprints Counseling Service. Brother Yinka Bakare, thank you so much, my brother. I got to get you back on because you're such a positive brother with so much knowledge, especially with the mental health. We're going to be doing some platforms with a lot of guests on Zoom, and I want to get you on there as well, so you can comment on a lot of these crazy issues that we're going through. But
I look forward to it.
From the Real Truth and Family, I want to thank you from my heart for, providing information to the family so much. Thank you so much. All right. Have a great day.
Pleasure, my friend.
Have a great day.
You too. Stay blessed.
All right. Another great interview by my brother from the United Kingdom. So we're getting some interviews all over now, all over the world. And that's great, especially for Black people, because we want to unite people all over the world. You know what I mean? And see what's going on in other parts of the country with our people, and just create knowledge to unite and uplift. So that was another powerful interview, and definitely contact him. Check him out on Facebook, YouTube. It's a powerful brother. He's like a psychiatrist, and he helps out people. And reach out. He has some powerful information on his website, and again on his YouTube as well, that you can, and his Facebook. They're all affiliated, where you can find out more information. If you just want to find out some things you may be struggling with. I always suggest that we just get ourselves out. We always say real truth and power, health, wealth, and knowledge of self. But health is mental health. So we want to make sure that we focus on that. So, man, another great show. Our last few shows have been powerful after we took a little time off. And so we're just very excited. We're doing great things. So please hit that like, hit that share. If you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. And you have to go to our YouTube channels, Collective Black People Movement, and Real Truth and Power, our station program, Real Truth and Power. And make sure you hit the subscribe button. We're going to be having a show where we're giving away some money. I think it's going to be like $100 for both channels. So definitely hit the like and subscribe button, all right? And again, shout out to my brother Yinka Bakare from the United Kingdom, all the way over in the United Kingdom, overseas. So, man, we blessed, and hopefully we can reach some people out there. Please hit that like button, follow the show, and we'll be giving another call-in show soon. So be ready for that. Peace and blessings. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hotep.
Real truth and power, health, wealth, knowledge of self, uplifting the community. Let's talk about it. Real truth and power, health, wealth, knowledge of self, uplifting the community. Let's talk about it. Real truth and power. Health. Wealth. Knowledge of self. Uplifting